Hello, viewers, and welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network once again. And we are taking a look on what was happening at ZANU-PF conference today, the 25th of October 2024. What is very important to note is that Vice President Chiwenga was given a platform to welcome President Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. There is something which happened. Number one, when he was given the platform, there was no round of applause, no mururu, nothing. Everyone remained quiet. So there were expectations that they will either uh, boo him or do anything else, but they all kept quiet. That is point number one. Point number two, there is a song yanga ichiridzwa yekuti ukaona dhakota raakundeya ndeya panenge paita mutengesi. So if you look at all those things, it shows with the Vice President Chiwenga vari kuitiswa. And at this point in time, he is slowly losing control and grip. Remember, he is a man with a very serious backing of the generals, but he is losing relevance if he continues in the direction he is taking. One of the most important things to note is that he gave a speech which is more than 10 minutes or so, but in that whole speech, he was praising Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa pese from start to finish, praising, worshiping Emerson Mnangagwa. One of the biggest mistakes. When you are presented with an opportunity, you have to make sure that you use that opportunity wisely, not to cause more fragments, but to make sure that you put people together. After putting people together, prove yourself that you are a leader. But if you spend the whole speech praising His Excellency, Doctor, this and that, that is a sign of weakness, which was shown by VP Chiwenga. Honestly, his allies and his subordinates, if they were watching this speech, they came to a conclusion that this man is becoming weak, especially when he is among these people. 2030 tinenge tichipo. He had a chance, he had an opportunity to address critical issues. For example, to address the issue of these petty slogans. Point number one. Point number two, he had an opportunity to speak eloquently, vividly, strongly, and remarkably about Vision 2030, but he failed to use or to utilize that opportunity. So this is a moment he was supposed to assert himself, show that he's powerful, show the person who he is. So if you look back to history, vazhinji vakuti angovo Chiwenga uya apera dzangova hari dzofa nzirofa. That is the language which is now being used. In this conference, the speech by VP Chiwenga was a total and a clear sign of a weak man. However, we cannot take that position conclusively. Why? There is something which might be happening. Kuti anogona kunge mukuru aona kuti regai timbovabhabhadzira for certain reasons. Remember, I have said in the past, the best way to deal with Emerson is to move with him from behind. Saenda kumberi kwake usamurega achikutungamidza. That is the only way you can strategize, work plan, and outmaneuver him. So this is a very difficult man, or this was a very difficult man in the past, who is no longer very difficult, who is no longer sophisticated as before. Remember, anything and everything has an expiry date. So this whole issue, you must understand kuti a lot is happening and it's very difficult to tell. I want you to observe this. I'm going to play. Okay, before I play, let me highlight this. If you go to the video, you'd see that key issues happened. Number one, the song which was played for VP Chiwenga, when he got onto the stage was about Mtenges. The song which was played for Emerson Mnangagwa was Mdara Achauya. Or so. I'm not so sure about the song, but it was from Ja Praiser. Rasvika Gamba. Rasvika Gamba, what? That is the song. So if you look at that song, Rasvika Gamba, it's showing that appreciating Emerson. Look at the people from the terraces. Everybody chanted. They started even say Edipe. So if you look all that behavior, kuti hakuna amboomberero vipi vachisimuka. Most importantly, vipi vasati vatombopedza kutaura oro kuintrodusa vaMnangagwa kustage, vakomana vanga vakutoridza music, vakomana vanga vatodzima mic yageneral. All those issues, if you connect the dots, kungoratidzwa kuti mukuru takupai henyu mukana wekuti mutisimudzire mukuru wedu, but imi hatinei nemi. Your elders, when they are still talking, you don't cut off their mic. You don't interrupt them with music. VP Chiwenga is not a junior in the party. He is second in command in the party, which means these people must be disciplined, especially when they are dealing with him. But you can actually see that this is a very, very complex issue. This is a very, very complicated issue at this point in time. The major question at hand is, can he make solid moves? It's very difficult to tell, because at this point in time, General Chiwenga, if he is to make moves, he will be committing treason. He will be working against a sitting president, which means he can't make public moves. Saka kuhandirana nekuhandirana hagoni kubuda pachena kuti ini ndo direction yandiri kutora. So you can actually see that it's a matter of now bringing brilliant people onto your side. Work with brilliant people and make sure that you defeat others who are useless. But vachiwenga vane team here iri solid within the ZANU-PF structures. As it stands right now, the people who are supporting Chiwenga are the people who are outside ZANU-PF. People with no influence within ZANU-PF. Those are the people who are publicly supporting Chiwenga. That is another sign of weakness. You must have people within who will be resisting on your behalf. So we were supposed to have a situation where we have certain people being expelled for the sake of rumors. But we have not seen that team. Look at the team Zirikubeka Vachiwenga. These are teams which are some most of the time they come to defend him, but they cannot make influential decisions from within the party ZANU-PF itself. Which means when resolutions are passed, when resolutions are made, when things happen, they cannot make critical decisions. They cannot be decision makers. So if you put all this together, you can actually sense a sign of weakness in VP. And in my own assertion, my own view, I view the military will not 100% put their eggs on VP Chiwenga to say, this is our basket. They don't trust that basket, because anytime it can do some things which can never be understood. Who prepared that speech yapiwa na VP? It's something else. So this is a very interesting conference. One of the most interesting conferences I have seen within ZANU-PF. Lots of people eager to know, understand, and see what is happening within ZANU-PF. But Chiwenga chose to come in a different way. Also, Emerson chose to come in a different way. What was expected is not what really happened, which means both sides vane kuwandirana kwavari kuita. But one sign of weakness ndeyekuti vachiwenga vapedza statement yese from 1 to end vachingopraiser baba vaMnangagwa. He was supposed to use this opportunity to brand himself as the next leader from 2027. Not the next leader of Zimbabwe, the next leader of ZANU-PF, which means ndiye aifanira kuzonorakashwa kana kwaizoitwa election 2028, ndiye aifanira kuzonorakashwa paballot. So if you look at what is happening at this point in time, a lot is happening in our political arena. But my own view is that Chiwenga at this point in time, is very difficult for him to pull up and make critical decisions. He was given an opportunity to introduce President Emmerson Mnangagwa, but whilst introducing Emmerson Mnangagwa, he made several blunders. Others prefer to say it's strategy. I do not know your thoughts. Was it strategy? What is it? So, if you look at how the mics were being silenced each and every time he continued to tape the mic up until it was resolved. If you look at that, then it's a problem, because the moment the engineers knew that the sound was low, they were supposed to act immediately, rectify the problem, or provide an alternative mic. But nobody bothered to do so to actually help the VP. So very interesting moments at this point in time, and we continue to move forward and understand what is really happening. Let me take some comments right here so that we have a fruitful conversation. My brother Temba, how are you? We are okay this side. Nick says, "Takakudzai kare hama, but there is no love lost between the two. Citizens are being deceived big time." No, Nick, these people are no longer in love, but there is one person who is showing symptoms of weakness, or who is playing dirty to trick the other. Remember, when you are dealing with a very deceitful person, you have to be strategic. Sometimes akuzi kwese kukuzwa kwaunokuzwa uchikuzwa in the right direction. You must look forward and be able to understand. Kukuzwa kwandiri kuitwa uko hakusiri kwekuti handisina kupfeka here. You must ask yourself that question. Check up yourself and make informed decisions. Temba says he's working together with ED Tirikuitiswa. I don't think that they're working together, but it seems as if the man himself is afraid to make bold moves. He's afraid to make the necessary moves, which means the only way possible is when he is cornered. So at this point in time, I feel as if munhu ari kufungidzira kuti how is someone else going to rise? Munhu ari kufungidzira kuti they will try to stop any other amendments from happening. So munhu ari kupota achimboita hope pakuedza kuzomisa zvimwe zvinhu zvichada kusimuka, of which it will be too late. However, on the other hand, he cannot rush again. Okay. And the biggest worry, if reports going around tend to be true, that Chamisa is working with these guys. So I will not comment much on Nelson Chamisa working with these guys or those guys or who Nelson Chamisa is working with. But what I will tell you is Nelson Chamisa has positioned himself on the point of strength. Nelson Chamisa is the strongest politician at this point in time. And I always say, we no longer have a leadership in Zimbabwe. There is a leadership vacuum. The seat has been vacated. And Nelson Chamisa, the signs that he can walk slowly to the seat unhindered are now there. So there is no need for Nelson Chamisa to be compromised by either, which means he is simply using a strategy, taking advantage of the situation and what is happening on the ground to outmaneuver others. That is the reason why he's working from behind the scenes. The person who works from behind the scenes is the best person. They've tried by all means possible to lure Nelson Chamisa back onto the political arena so as to continue to bastardize him, but they failed. So personally, I believe that Nelson Chamisa, whatever decision is going to make the best decision ever. Petronella, how are you, my sister? Thank you very much for coming and for the contributions. Lorraine, Okay, don't forget that when they chose delegates for the conference, they actually left out most pro Chiwenga supporters. Yes, that is one of the most critical issues. And this brings us to a point where we can say, is it possible that Chiwenga knew that his people were not there to defend him in case something happens? That is the reason why he chose to use those sweet, 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 sweet words to the first secretary. I do not know. But I believe that if Chiwenga had taken a bold stance against these people, maybe they were going to be outraged, and then they were going to create a foundation yekuti varambe vachizviisa paspotlight. But at this point in time, they've managed to deal with certain issues which were threats, which means if General Chiwenga was making moves, he's going to slow down. He's going to put some brakes now. He's not going to continue to rush because of what happened at that conference. So they communicated through songs, masongs akambotambwa nemunhu wese pamarally ndo avashandisa, which will be very, very difficult to say iyi ndeyaningi iyi ndeyaningi, although we can actually take some notes and understand what was really happening. Regina, thank you very much for coming. How are you? How is Harare? We continue to watch and pray, and that is wonderful. That is the best thing we can do. At this point in time, we need to continue to watch and pray. So, Mbire, thank you very much as well for coming, and I hope you are well from that side. So we'll continue to take a look onto critical issues happening in the nation of Zimbabwe. We will touch more about the conference. We'll touch more about the issues of sanctions. Remember, there is an ongoing onslaught within ZANU-PF itself. Pane zvinhu zviri kuitika zvihombe. Kune vanhu vasina kubhadharwa mari vakagumbuka vanogona kupedzesera vaburitsa chimwe chokwadi. So we need to be looking very, very, very close to those issues and understand what is really happening, what is really transpiring. But at the end of the day, we need to be able to make informed decisions. The reason why we cannot ignore these issues is because every decision made by ZANU-PF affects you, affects me, because we live in this country together, named Manduids. So we need to be vigilant, we need to be extra careful, and we need to be prepared for anything. We need to be informed. And when an opportunity presents itself, we must be ready to take over strategic positions. So I want to thank everybody for coming, and I hope that I've responded to each and every comment. That is my hope. Okay, Anzi, why should we be afraid of doing a coup when these guys are low unto themselves? It's a very difficult to have another coup at this point in time, because when this guy came into power, he protected himself so much, removed some people, critical people. Some of them are no longer in the picture. And if you look at the list which was presented by Obet Mpofu, there are more than 200, more than 100, let me say more than 150 comrades, including generals, vakaenda kunational heroes acre, kumaprovincial heroes acres, nekumwewo kumamisha kwavo, more than 150 comrades, very influential, vakatisiya under unknown and suspected circumstances, which makes it very difficult to understand. So a coup, to me, a coup is very, very difficult to happen at this point in time, unless the president himself makes the first mistakes. Kana ivo president vakatanga kupotsa, vakatanga kutsvedza, then it will be justified, which means if the military then continues to fight for that unlawful thing which could have happened, vanenge vane justification other than kungobuda nhasi vototaura votopa a declaration. At this point in time, it's very difficult to act on slogans. Mere slogans dzekuti 2030 anenge achipo, you cannot act on that slogan. But when that issue becomes an issue of law, to say imimi they would then use the constitution against each other, and that would be something else. So I don't want to take much of your of your time, and let us continue to watch and understand what is happening in the political arena. We'll continue to come live and talk about these issues. So we hope and believe that everything shall be fine. We hope and believe that we'll be able to come and demystify some of the issues happening. As for Nelson Chamisa, at this point in time, we don't have much to say about Nelson Chamisa because of some activities and some reasons, but we will have more to say sooner or later. Let us meet in other episodes and other broadcasts.